What's going on, you guys? Coming to you with an Armada build today. We're going to call this one the Jerk Gozanti. And what I mean by that is we're going to start off with a Gozanti and we're just going to make it into a jerk. So what kind of led to this build is a lot of discussion lately about Tagge and how nobody likes Tagge. And so I try to always look at things like that as a challenge and say, well, if people think he's the worst, then maybe there's a way to make him really useful or at least fun. And even if it's not a winning list, maybe it's a fun list that can at least maybe make him win. And you know what? I think I came up with something that might even win. So here is what I'm going to call my Jerk Gozanti. So one of the things we're going to put on here is we're going to put Minister Tua on this Gozanti. It's going to help it stay alive because he's going to be a jerk, so people are really going to want to totally blow this guy into space. So there's Tua, and we're going to give ECM to the Jerk Gozanti, basically allowing it to guarantee that it can scatter. So even if you get that critical accuracy that you need, it doesn't matter. It's still going to scatter anyway. And that kind of makes him a jerk. But we're also going to give him Suppressor, because Suppressor is totally going to make him a jerk. You know, he's going to get right in range and totally upset everybody who gets near him, and they can't kill him. So that much makes him very annoying. If he's going to be getting in close, we're also going to give him Slicer tools to really annoy your opponents. This is, these two kind of go hand in hand. You're getting in close anyway, so let's also exhaust all your stuff. So if you do kill him, or if you do shoot him, you're not going to be able to kill him. And if you ignore him, well, then he's just going to keep doing Suppressor and Slicer tools on you. Oh, and let's give him one more thing. Let's go ahead and put Phylon Q7 tractor beams on him, just to make him even more of a jerk. Because if you think you're just going to fly past him out of range, he's going to try and slow you down. Obviously, he's not going to be able to affect the medium and large ships as much, but usually it's the small ships that are the fastest. And especially for things like Demolisher and those ships that want to come in real fast, this is going to slow them all down and just completely screw around with everybody, giving your opponent a bad day. And it's going to be really interesting if they do decide to go ahead and try to kill this one. So here's the thing. We're going to be using Tagge, and the problem is that if they do get that accuracy the first time, and they get and then you have to exhaust ECM, and then you spend your token. Now all of a sudden, now it's spent. So let's go ahead and let's put Hand of Justice out there. We'll put an Architens with Hand of Justice. This way we can go ahead and activate this guy after the Gozanti has been shot. And then we can ready that scatter just one more time, making him even more of a jerk. So, and then we're going to give him Turbo Laser Reroute Circuits. Again, we're using Tagge in this list, so we can totally afford to put TRC on our Architens. They're going to be a little bit more deadly that way. I'm going to add a flagship. The flagship, we're going to add a Simoon. And the Simoon is going to have Tagge on it. Tagge the man will be on a Simoon. So let's look at how I'm going to go ahead and configure this thing. First off, I want this Gozanti to be able to get in close. And so I'm going to go ahead and use entrapment formation here. Just so that we can be getting speed manipulation for everybody, just to try to put this Gozanti in the right place. I'm not always a real big fan of an entrapment formation, but in this particular case, I don't really need Intensify Firepower because all of my main shooting ships are going to have Turbo Laser Reroute Circuits. And so, what I can do is I can just go ahead and put Nita on this one. And with Nita on the Simoon, now all of a sudden I can change one of those redirects. Now I'll have one of each of the defense tokens, which is fine because I've got Tagge, right? So it's totally going to work here. And then we'll go ahead and put a Turbo Laser Reroute Circuit. Now, so we've got our 5 red dice in the front, and we can, we have a little bit of mitigation. So if we do get a blank, we can change it to a double or a crit if we need to. So, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but I think this is, this could totally work. This could be a lot of fun with this particular setup. So, what else do we want to have out there? Well, we have this Gozanti, we have an Architens, we've got a Simoon, so we've got 3 ships. Okay, well, we could, at this point, we could start adding squadrons, or I could just double down on this Architens with Turbo Laser Reroute, and 326, and we could add yet another Architons with turbo laser reroute. Now we've got an incredible amount of ships. Now we could stop right here if we wanted to go ahead and have a very, very strong initiative bid. 387. I think you're pretty much guaranteed to be first player. With slicer tools, we can use that to stop, your Quasar or whoever. If we go up against a real heavy squadron build, we can do slicer tools there. Or one of the things that we can do is we could go ahead and add a squadron or two. There's a lot of little things that we could do that we could add stuff to this build, but I'm going to stop right here. We could even add like spinal armament. 396, we still have an initiative bid. Or we could add gunnery teams. But I'm not going to add gunnery teams because I'm going to try and go ahead and add advanced gunnery for one of my objectives, just in case. Just in case. And with advanced gunnery, that's just basically saying, oh, well, do you want to let my Simoon shoot at you twice? Because that would be fantastic. Next up, we're going to go ahead and go with Fleet Ambush. Now, the reason I go with Fleet Ambush in this case is, and this one can be a little bit tricky, but I think in this case, Fleet Ambush will be mostly good because of the fact that I get to, really take advantage of my lack of squadrons and that they're all going to be deployed last. So I like that aspect of Fleet Ambush. Although I will say it's fair if you wanted to use fire lanes here. You've got a lot of broadside arc ships, and you've got a lot of dice, heavy arcs that could potentially work with fire lanes. And I don't think we're going to be using our objectives anyway because I think we'll be first player, and we'll go with Solar Corona over there as well. Now, one of the things that we'll want to do here is that we're going to really want to burn hard going after the opponent's carriers because squadrons are going to represent a problem here. So we'll have to, speed up and then slow down once we get behind the enemy carrier ships. We'll want to get into contact with them really quickly. But we have a lot of firepower here, a lot of guaranteed damage with those turbo laser reroutes. And we have this jerk ship to fly right in the middle, mess things up. And then hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. I think this is a build that Tagge could trigger quite a bit. And I think Nita really kind of works well with Tagge here. I think they would get along pretty well. And I think that's, that's the build, guys. So let me know. Jerk Gozanti build could be a lot of fun. I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you think 387 is too much of a bid? That's going to depend on your local meta. In some places it's not that much of a bid. In other places it is. And there's all kinds of variations that you could make. To something like this. A real easy one is to put gunnery team on there, and then just have a little bit. Or another real easy one might be just to add, maybe one squadron. Maybe just one. Maybe like a Mauler Mythal, or even an intercept, or even a jump master. A jump master might not be a terrible squadron to add if you're just looking to add one, right? 399. It'll tie up other squads. It'll fly away. It's not gonna last long. But if you're looking to just hold somebody down for just one turn, just to slow down that squadron advance. But I think generally you'll be all right with interrupting them with slicer tools. Now, if they do send all their squadrons against your Gozanti, well, then you are going to lose some points. But really, that's going to require lots of shooting. It's going to require a pretty significant commitment on that part of the opponent. And at the end of the day, you're going to lose 49 points out of it, which isn't really that bad. So I think it's worth the gamble in that case. If that does look like it's happening and you do survive, make sure you might want to queue up an engineer for that next command, just to try to maybe regenerate a shield or so and get out of there. But yeah, so that's the build. Let me know what you guys think. I also want to remind you guys there is another round of the giveaway going on right now. I'm actually giving away an Armada core set, so make sure you are subscribed and leave a comment on this or one of my Armada videos. You can check that out in one of my last videos. I'll put a link in the description below. But trying to promote the game a little bit more, and that's one of the barriers to entry. So there's a lot of people out there who who are been like kind of afraid to take the dive into Armada, and a lot of it has to do with that actual cost. So it's one of the things we're hoping to help out with. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out Crabbok.com or Discord. A big thanks to everybody on Patreon as well who has really helped make all this possible. I want to thank you guys all so much for your support, and thank you for watching. Have a great day.